Good morning, 2-3. Welcome to math. So today we are supposed to be moving on to lesson 11. However, we're skipping lesson 11 and moving on to lesson 12 today because lesson 11 is something we would need to be doing if we were in the classroom all together again using manipulatives, which unfortunately that's not our reality right now. So we're skipping lesson 11 and we're just going to go to lesson 12, okay? So we're going to move right along to lesson 12 today. So let's look at our instructions, which is number 1, you're going to watch my video. Number 2, you're going to watch the video on lesson 12 from YouTube, which is 4 minutes long, which is right down here. You are then going to complete the problem set and bonus from lesson 12. And as always, if you need help, you're going to let us know. Also, just as a reminder, I did put here yet again the homework helper for lesson 12 that you could open and look at if you need even more support on this lesson, okay? So when we go into it, this is what it's going to look like today. Let's review a little bit about from yesterday because it actually connects with today's lesson. So when we were doing our lesson yesterday on Eureka, you were making arrays, but were we making arrays with smiley faces and triangles and circles, or were we making our arrays with another type of shape? If you said another type of shape, kiss your brain because you're correct. Yesterday, as you all hopefully remember, you were making arrays with squares, little tiles, right? Square tiles. And another big thing about yesterday was not only were we having to make them with squares, you had to make sure that there was absolutely no spacing, right? We said no spacing between. They had to connect one to another. And that's the same thing we're doing today. We're still going to be making those arrays using the squares with no spacing, no gaps, which means no spaces between them, okay? And again, we need to be very careful to pay attention to the word rows, which means across. As always, my arrows are there for you, and columns, which means up and down, okay? So let's look at number 1 together. It says draw without using a square tile to make an array with 2 rows of 5. I know it says without, but that's again something that we would be doing in the classroom. So we're just going to be using square tiles regardless for this whole lesson, okay? Just for this one. So we're going to come and I'm just going to use it and I'm going to make my 2 rows. So 1, and notice again, I'm not going to have any spacing between them, okay? So 1, 2 rows, and in each row I need to have 5. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay? So I have 2 rows with 5 in each row. So now that's all I have to do for up here. Now again, remember, squares, no spaces, okay? Then I come down here and it says 2 rows of 5 equals, well, what does 2 rows of 5 equal? Okay, and that just means count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my answer is 10, okay? So today I'm actually going to use my text box and I'm going to type in 10, okay? Then I need to come down here as always, which you should be familiar with by now, and you are going to be putting in your repeated addition equation for this problem, okay? So we know that I did rows, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one row, so 5 plus 5 equals 10, okay? 5 plus 5 equals 10. And that's all I'm doing here. And then for number 2, you're going to do the same thing where you're going to draw that using the squares to make an array with 4 columns now of 3, and then you're going to fill in your equations and answers down here. All right, now the next 2 pages look a little bit different, meaning now they just want you to be creating these arrays using the square tiles. And it says complete the following arrays without gaps or overlaps. Again, that means no spacing. And that they drew the first tile for you. So they started it for you and they want you to finish, okay? So A says that they want you to make 3 rows of 4. So I'm going to just I'm going to get everything ready, set it up, and I have to do 3 rows of 4. So I already have 1 row, that's 1 row. Now I'm going to make another, my second row, and then I'm going to make my third row, okay? And then it's telling me that I have to have 4 in each, so I'm just going to start filling in how many I have to have. Again, connecting. There should be no gaps at all. It shouldn't have like anything like that. It should just be all connecting. Okay, I'm going to fix that one. And then you're just going to make sure that everything is there. 3 rows, 4 in each. And then for extra practice, we'll put in a little text box over here, and we're just going to write our repeated addition equation, which in this case would be 4 plus, we should all be experts at this by now, 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals, say it out loud for me, 12, okay? And then you're going to move on to B and do the same thing. So remember that they started for you, okay? So for this one, now they want 5 columns, which are up and down, of 3. So now, when you go to do this, you're not going to be going down because that would be rows. You're now going across to make your 5 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So I have my 5 columns, and now I have to put 3 in each. Okay? So I want you to finish this for me, and then put your repeated addition equation on this side. So you're going to finish what this would look like. And then for C, and then this page, it's the same thing. That's all you're doing. It already started it for you, and you're just completing what it told you to do in regards to making the arrays, okay? At the very bottom, this is your bonus for today, okay? It says, Lulu made a pan of brownies. Yummy. She cut them into 3 rows of 3 columns. First, you have to draw a picture of Lulu's brownies in the pan, which I'm going to give you some hints and help you out. Then, of course, write your repeated addition equation to show how many brownies she has in total. And then the statement, Lulu made blank, you're going to fill in the total brownies, okay? So, just like before, it told us that there were 3 rows, right? So I'm going to do my rows first. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 rows. And then I also need to have 3 columns. Remember, this counts as 1 column. So then 2, 3. Now you have to fill in the rest of this to make it look like how many brownies she has. Remember, right now this is definitely not an array. It's not equal. It's not all together. This is not an array. This is just the outer part. We have our 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. Now you have to fill in the rest of the squares here to figure out how many brownies she has in this pan. And then use your repeated addition equation and then put the total. So this is what you're doing today. I think it's a little fun lesson, basically using your squares to come up with your arrays, which we already have had a lot of practice with, but now you're just doing it today with your squares, okay? If you need anything, please let me know. I'm here to help you as always, and you got this, 2-3.